Hi, it's Lori. Welcome back to my YouTube channel at Art Lab Designs. I am sharing with you some tags and some very small gift cards and a few greeting cards that I've made recently that are just from things in my stash. No particular brand, no particular no particular anything. They were just, some of them were just experiments and others were just things I wanted to try out that I hadn't used before. So anyway, here they are. So this tag, I used a background stamp that is just a bunch of wavy lines, and I used Distress Oxide linen color. I think it's linen or yeah, I think it's just called linen on the background. And then I have this little stamp and die set, so cute, of cactus and succulents, and it comes with a little bee. So I colored those with alcohol markers. Used the die to cut them out, and then I stamped the word beautiful on there. And I just need to add some twine or ribbon or something like that up there. Not sure yet what I'm gonna do with that one. This one was an experiment that at first I felt like it didn't go very well, but now I sort of like it, so I decided I'm gonna keep it or use it or sell it or something. But I was trying to emboss in black a butterfly from some butterfly stamps that I have. And it came out really funky, and I think I tried to re-emboss it. And so you'll see there's a little bit of a ghost image here. And at first I was like, oh, that looks crappy, I'm going to throw it away. But the more I looked at it, the more it sort of grew on me. It's like a grungy butterfly. So I think I'm going to use it or keep it or something, and I paired it up with a small white envelope so it could be enclosed with a gift. This one came out much better, same butterfly, not quite as well as I would have hoped, but it's not bad. The embossing powder that I was using was from Lindy's Stamp Gang, and I've decided that I just don't really care for it. It doesn't compare to like Nouveau's embossing powder or even Simon Says Stamp embossing powder. It just doesn't, it's weird. It just doesn't emboss all the way. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what. But anyway, this still came out fairly coppery and fairly embossed, as you can see. And the butterfly actually says create right here, and there's, you know, some little pieces missing. So again, it's sort of grungy. But I like it. And this one was also an experiment, but I love the way it turned out. I used some leaves from my stash, red rubber deep cut stamps, that are, you know, fairly small. And again, I was trying out the Lindy Stamp Gang embossing powder. I haven't used it in a long time. And that's what I used for the greenish, tealish leaves that you could see in the background. But again, it didn't emboss very well, and I don't know, maybe it's the embossing ink I'm using with it that it doesn't like or what, but it just did not emboss well. And then I switched to, I think this gold is Nouveau embossing powder, and I think the copper is actually Lindy's Stamp Gang, maybe, which embossed just fine. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But anyway, I really like this one. Maybe for somebody whose birthday is in the fall, or if I'm giving out a little Thanksgiving gift or something, I will use this one. And then this little gift tag, I used the Tim Holtz, I think it's called Back to School stamp set. And it's red rubber, and there's an apple, a globe, a stack of books, and one other one, maybe a jar of pencils, I don't remember. But anyway, I thought the apple was really cute, especially for the fall, and I used some gold embossing powder to stamp that on a little gift card and put it with a burgundy envelope. And then the next two are tags. So here's this tag. Again, this is a stamp set I've had in my stash for quite a while, but I had never used it. So I just stamped several of the different butterflies and some of the little curly Q filigreed pieces, and then the word fly is part of that stamp set. So I just stamped it all and embossed it with gold embossing powder, the Nouveau embossing powder. And then I did this one, and I think this might end up in the trash, or I might use it as a bookmark, or I might put something on top of it. I don't know. I thought I would like it more than I do, but I used a stamp that I think is called Crackle or something like that. It's from Prima. It might be a Finnavar stamp, and just embossed it on a manila tag. So I don't really like it as is, but I think if I add something to it or some things to it, I will like it. And then I'll add some twine or ribbon. Hello. Alright, so these next two cards are gigantic. I mean, compared to the cards I normally make. So I hope I can get the whole thing in the frame. If I tilt it up, maybe you could see it, or I'll just have to slide it down, I guess. Alright, so these are like business size, envelope sized cards, and I normally don't make these. However, I have these Julie Nutting stamps, 2 of them, and this woman actually comes with a little masquerade type mask, and I just decided not to use the mask, but I colored her with alcohol markers. She's like my Tina Turner with that hairstyle. Colored it with alcohol markers. I used a piece of pattern paper from my stash on top of some lavender cardstock, on top of some light gray cardstock for the card base. And then Shine Bright, it's pardon me, from one of my stamp sets, and I just stamped that on black, cut it into an oval shape, and then used some iridescent sequins to make the whole thing sparkly and pretty. And I love her skirt, the way it flares out, her little mermaid dress. And then on the inside, again, I hope you could see the whole thing, it says, "Don't let someone dim your light simply because it's shining in their eyes." And it's got a light bulb above it. And then the other one that's also kind of business card sized is this one, which is another Julie Nutting stamp that I've had in my stash for ages and ages, like at least a few years. Never used it, so I finally broke it out. That's my goal, is to start using things I haven't used. And again, I used some pattern paper that I had that's very mod, and colored the woman, who I think her name is Megan for some reason. I don't know what the other one's name is, but I colored her with alcohol markers. She's quite the career gal. Used some gold sequins to add some sparkle, and then put hello embossed on a banner in gold. And this one says, I'm so glad you're my friend. So I'll have to find some nice envelopes for these. I don't want to just use, my business envelopes that are really plain and white and whatever. So I'll probably get some nice envelopes. And then I made 3 more cards that are almost identical to each other, except for the colorways. And I shamelessly stole this idea from Laura Basson, also known as Laura Fedora on YouTube. And I will link her video in the description box for these cards. So this is a die, a triangular shaped die, that cuts out these little strips in the middle of the triangle. Excuse me. And they're just hinged here on the left-hand side, and Laura explains this much better than I could. But I just used some coordinating paper, so these are kind of cool tones. I use lime and Audrey blue and whatever this one is, sea blue maybe, a dark blue, and then a lavender, and then curved them as I went down the card. And then I used some foam, fun foam, and cut out the wow and put some white cardstock on top of the wow. And I left this blank inside because it could be congratulations on your new job, or graduation, or wow, it's Tuesday, let's celebrate, or or happy birthday. I mean, it could really be anything with the wow on the front. So this one came out really nicely, and I followed the directions explicitly, and you'll see why I'm saying that in just a second. So this is the second one I did following Laura Basson's video. And this one, I think I really still like it, and I like the colorway. It's very autumnal. I used white, beige, yellow, gold, and orange or burnt orange for this one, so very fall-like. And I made the Wow black on Fun Foam. And you probably wouldn't even notice this because I think it came out okay anyway. But 3 of the pieces of cardstock that I was using were a little shorter than the others, so they didn't quite reach all the way to the outer edge. But I'm okay with it. I think it looks good. So there. And then finally, this one is a combination of things for my stash as well as 3 of the metallic papers that came in the Simon Says Stamp September 2019 card kit. I have some glue cleanup to do here. But anyway, I used metallic gold, and then I used just some gold paper, pattern paper for my stash. Then we've got more of a matted gold, and then some goldy, rusty, browny paper from my stash, pattern paper. And then finally this this copper one. I sort of think these look like shutters, like if you're in the Caribbean. You know how they have these shutters over the windows? That's what this reminds me of. And then again, I put a black wow and left it blank inside. So I really love all 3 of these cards. I think they came out really nicely, despite being a little short on the top of this one too. I think it looks fine. I think it came out fine. And I want to thank Laura Basson for giving me the idea. If not the idea, I almost blatantly stole from her. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching, and as always, if you have comments or questions, I would love to hear them. Please put them in the comment section below, and I will have links to my Instagram and Etsy shop in the description box, along with a link to Laura Basson's video about this card. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time.